to next point, 1.4, Agon. Now, Annex 11 is the agreement between FIDE and Agon. Annex 12 is the appeal of the Bulgarian Chess Federation in respect of the bidding procedure for the candidates March 2012. And there is an annex, which one? Because the Executive Board approved the proposal of Mr. Freeman to create a committee of Mr. Bohal, Herbert, and Mrs. Murphy to look into the matter of this appeal of the Bulgarian Chess Federation and report the General Assembly. So there is an annex here. Okay? So who is going to present the Herbert, Alan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee met on I believe it would have been the 5th of September. We were given the relevant bid documents, copies of the bid procedure, emails relating to the entire bidding process. Having reviewed these documents, the committee made the following findings. There were 3 bidders. 2 were federations, 1 was a sponsor. As per rules, as per section 4.81 rules and regulations of the candidates match. The procedure was opened before December 31st, as pursuant to Article 4.82, contained in the bidding procedure document issued on September 19, 2011. The 3 bids, 2 were pro forma bids received from federations as per the FIDE offer bid form, and 1 was a multi-event bid received in a contract bid from a sponsor covering multiple events, including the candidates match. The Presidential Board approved the bid from the sponsor, which would be Agon. This and submitted, obviously it's here in our minutes, to this General Assembly for ratification. This result was announced on February 20th, 2012 by publication on the FIDE website. FIDE signed an agreement with Agon, which is contingent on ratification by this General Assembly. The requirement to declare that federations have the exclusive right to host World Chess events runs counter to Rule 4.81 of the Candidates' Rules and Regulations. If the General Assembly does not ratify the contract, obviously the bid would be null and void and the award invalidated. And then the General Assembly would have to then consider the other bids. Those were the findings of the subcommittee.
Thank you very much. So it is clear that based on your proposal, first we have to see if we ratify the contract, yes, and then we should deal with your proposal, correct? Good, yes. So then I would like to ask Mr. Andrew Forson to come to make this presentation. And then we can discuss after he can answer several questions, we can discuss about the agreement.
I think that you've probably all read the you've all read the agreement that's in the documentation. clearly what our intentions are and what our goals are and our methods. We're going to be organizing the events in the World Championship cycle in prestigious venues in major cities around the world. We're going to be financing it with sponsorship revenue, and I hope in the process making chess more mediatized, more successfully mediatized entertainment than has been in the last 20 or 30 years. I'm often asked by journalists, do I really think that I can make chess as big as it was 20 or 30 years ago? And I point out to them that chess is now probably bigger than it was 20 or 30 years ago. It's simply that media attention, the eye of the camera has been elsewhere. So in fact, a major part of our strategy is to bring back media attention to the events themselves. It's not a very major transformation. I don't have any revolutionary ideas. I simply plan on doing everything just a little bit better. And I think that that's the core of our plan. I think it's quite clear. The contract was worked over with Fide's lawyers and Macro and Nigel over the course of 6 or 7 months. In general, it seems to have put in place all the right sticks and carrots. I have to do certain things and meet certain obligations. Fide has to do certain things and meet certain obligations. The duration of the contract gives me the opportunity to justify a significant investment and see a reasonable chance of making a go of it. One of the problems in the past has always been that chess sponsorship has been sporadic, catch as catch can, and not based on a sustainable business model. I think if there's one fundamental element of this contract and of my strategy, is to show the way so that in the future, perhaps at the end of this contract, other people will be able to do exactly the same thing because we will have built a sustainable business with sponsors who actually derive concrete and measurable value from the money that they invest into chess.
Do you have questions, please?
Andrew, thank you very much for the presentation. I have only one question. There will be the first tournament of Grand Prix starts in a few weeks, I think. Maybe I didn't find this information, but who are your sponsors? Is it yourself? Is it your money? Is it FIDE money? Is it money of some other companies? Who are the sponsors of this project?
Unfortunately, the first Grand Prix was supposed to be in Chelyabinsk, and the sponsor of that event was to be the governor of Chelyabinsk. Unfortunately, the Russian Chess Federation wouldn't allow us to hold the event in Chelyabinsk. Therefore, we lost the money from Chelyabinsk. I have to pay £500,000 of my own money, and we had to do it in London.
The governor of Chelyabinsk didn't know anything about this story.
Well, unfortunately, let's go further. The governor, when I entered into this agreement with Fide, I was told that there were 2 splendid places that they'd already organized sponsorship, Chelyabinsk and Tashkent, and that it was my option to take over those 2 events and do them. I accepted because I thought it would be good to start quickly and get things underway. The details, perhaps I don't know whether it was the governor or the minister of sport of Chelyabinsk or exactly who it was who you talked to or who they talked to. Frankly, it's not my business.
Okay, you lost money because of Russian chess.
The result is very simple. The result is simple. The event was supposed to be in Chelyabinsk. I was informed that I could be put into jail if I held the event in Chelyabinsk, and so I decided that it would probably be better to do it in London. And I suggest that you address the rest of the questions to Fide, because my contract is with Fide and I don't know those details.
I asked not about Chelyabinsk, I asked about the sponsors. I understand the
I
situation.
have to pay for it myself. I wasn't planning.
Yeah, he asked this. He's going to pay from his pocket.
You pay it from your pocket, yeah?
Unfortunately, I have to.
Okay, I understand the reasons, okay.
Any other question? Yes,
Thank you. After just hearing the proposal from CNC, I'm wondering if there is some kind of collision course between the rights that get activated by the project from CNC and the rights that you will enjoy as the chief organizer of this cycle, or if the time frame is different enough.
I don't see any collision.
Good, thank you.
Any other question? Yes.
Very simplistic question, I apologize for that. But there is a provision in the contract that you pay a deposit of $500,000 in the feed account. Was it paid?
I will do that as soon as you ratify the contract.
Oh, okay. Well, I think it's like 60 days from signing the contract, so I'm not sure whether it's from ratification.
When we signed the contract, I didn't know that the contract was going to be challenged at the General Assembly.
Well, I know it's a challenge, but the contract says 60 days from the signing, so it's not paid yet. All right.
That's pretty good.
Any other questions? No questions? Please, Mike.
You suggested that you're going to use media channels to attract attention of the media. In 2 weeks, you're planning to conduct first event in London. What kind of media channels are you going to attract, and what we're going to see? Television, internet, major networks, etc.
Okay, well, to go back, the first two events, the first two Grand Prix, which were supposed to be in Chelyabinsk and Tashkent, we had no major plans for innovation. Because we only signed the contract 6 months ago, and there's still been a certain amount of uncertainty around it, our plans are to make a big sort of, let's say, a transitional moment during the candidates, which will also be in London in March. We already have, I can talk to you about some of the sponsors that we're talking to, some of the media partners we're talking to, and so on. We can talk about it in private, we can talk about it here. I've already given a number of interviews to the press, so it's, as things develop, everyone is going to be aware of them. But I can say that we have heads of terms with one of the major international cable networks to do what I think is going to be a very interesting new product. It's not chess, it's not chess per se, it's about chess. So it'll be a magazine format program, 30 minutes in length, broadcast around the world weekly. That's one example. Obviously, we'll also be working with YouTube. That's obvious. There are a number of absolutely clear and obvious channels that have already expressed interest in working with us simply because it's obvious. It's like falling off a log. There's no. I think I should emphasize that there are no great secrets to what I'm doing. I'm simply applying constant pressure, working very hard on small details, because chess itself is good enough. I'm not trying to improve it.
Yes, neither.
Yes, if I'm right, Agon was formed in January 2012, is that right? Yeah. Can you tell us about the capitalization of Agon?
Because the events that we're going to be producing are going to be taking place all over the world, my attorney suggested that we set it up in Jersey, which is, of all of the offshore jurisdictions in the world, the most rigorous, the most strong in fighting corruption and money laundering and so on. The reason for this is that there's not any specific headquarters for where we're going to be operating, and this optimizes the tax situation of the entire company. That's the first thing. The second thing is that the company belongs to me. I own 100% of the company, and I assume that will continue to be the case. But if I need to raise money in the future at any point, that will be Sorry,
Yeah.
You want to do
No,
that?
the question was about the capitalisation of the company, which you haven't answered. Is there any way that we, as the General Assembly, which is, as we know, higher than the presidential board, can determine the finances of Agon? Do we have the possibility?
Sure, you're absolutely welcome to. In fact, by coincidence, Graham, who lives in Jersey, has met the trustees of the company, discussed with them briefly, informally. It was a pure coincidence we were visiting, and has access to my lawyers and to solve the corporate documents. You're welcome to have a look at anything completely.
Any other question? No questions? So then, Mrs. Roth, you want to ask a question? So please then.
What is the term of the contract?
Who's asking? It's interesting. There have been a number of different reports, but in fact, it's written quite clearly in the contract. It's either 11 or 12 years. I think it's 11 years.
Might I,
11 years.
hello? Might I suggest that perhaps it should be something like a 4-year contract with a review provision?
There's no automatic review provision on an almost quarterly basis based on fulfilling the financial obligations of the contract. That already exists in the contract. There are already a series of very specific ways that FIDE can cancel the contract if I don't meet certain very specific parameters.
Could you describe the financial provisions for the assembly?
Sure, it's in the contract. You can read it yourself, but it basically means that if I owe money, I have to pay it. If my obligations are to hold the events in the manner following the rules and regulations and procedures of FIDE in a way that satisfies the interface, which is the committee that was set up under the advice of FIDE's lawyers to deal with the day-to-day operation of the relationship between Agon and FIDE.
I'd like to add something on this, Mrs. Ruth. Of course, we have discussed between us, but mainly I suppose you are making the same questions to the General Assembly for better information of the General Assembly. So, if they will not organize one event, the first event, they're out of the contract. This is the first point. The second point is that it's obvious that if they have to pay everything, in 4 years that we are proposing, they have to invest something between 15 to 18 million euros, which, of course, when we had the discussions and the negotiations, is not a period that they can generate this money back. That's why we have to follow their thinking and their estimations, where it was that most probably in the first years they will be struggling to do something. For the next 4 years, maybe they will have balance or start making a little profit, and after the 8 years, they will start making profit. That's why we went to this long-term contract, where for us, for FIDE, what is the benefit of this, is that for the first time we have secured all our events. First time we have announced World Championship cycle for 4 years. Never happened in the past. Every time we were running to find organizers that postponed our events, we were clashing with other organizers. Always we had fights about this. Always we have been accused that we cannot have a calendar. First time we have secured events and the dates of these events. This is very important for FIDE because now, of course, we can try to do other important things than running to find organizers and sponsors. And we have the experience how difficult it is to find organizers for such huge money that FIDE is looking. Yes, please.
One last question. I'm assuming that you're going to be working cooperatively with the national federations.
think, in fact, I can give you one very concrete example that I can already provide one very concrete example. As the President announced earlier today, we've invested in a series of in-depth research studies of chess playing and chess attitudes and different ways that different people and what kind of people interact with chess in the UK, the US, Germany, Russia, and India. And I think that these are excellent tools that I don't believe in holding back information. I believe in giving it away for free. And we've given access not only to the results of these surveys, but also direct access to the databases generated by YouGov to journalists and to federations, who can then use these statistics to explain to their sponsors, to their partners, about basically numbers that in the past we had no direct access to. You could guess, you had vague ideas. But now you have the beginning of a database of information that the federations can use. And if we can provide you with all of our marketing tools, it will be useful for the federations to market themselves in their own activities. I think that's in a first instance, that's what we've already done. But obviously, in country after country that we spend time and money developing for a single event, when we leave, it's very important to us that that country is able to take advantage of the investment that we've made there. I can give you some examples. One is Lisbon. We're very interested in making sure that the Portuguese Chess Federation has the tools and our cooperation for maximizing the benefit to the Portuguese Chess Federation after we've left.
Yes, Mike.
My question to the board: does under this contract, does FIDE has any liabilities?
So the contract is based on what Agon is providing. We are not saying that. We are saying that we have to do with the contract. There are certain things that FIDE has to do, i.e. we have to make sure that the capital cycle rules are correct, the events are correct, the right people to the events, things like that. So our liabilities are on all that side. Sorry, FIDE, in the contract, if you read it here, FIDE's liabilities are mainly in the fact that we have to make sure that we've applied them to the correct players, we've applied the correct way of running the World Championship cycle on that side. We have no financial liability on this side.
Yeah, I asked about financial.
Sorry?
Any financial liabilities?
No, we don't have any financial, if you read the contract, we don't have any financial liabilities unless we fail to provide Agon with what it needs to run a tournament. If we fail to give them people for the Grand Prix, they obviously will come to us and say, excuse me, you haven't given us people for the Grand Prix, therefore we can't hold the Grand Prix. If we don't have regulations to run the candidates, they'll come to us and say, how can we run a candidate when you don't give us? We'll sue you maybe for not doing that. You spend money and you haven't produced it. But that's really where our liability is.
Thank you.
You know, coming back to the question of Mrs. Ruth, I would like to say that the principle for FIDE is that they should work with our federations. They should cooperate very close with our federations. And the truth is that when we're talking with them, every time we say, okay, please, you want to organize an event there, speak with the president of that federation. Unfortunately, there are others that they advise you not to speak to the federations. This is the problem. And this is not FIDE with doing this. I don't want to refer now to names and all this, but I believe he will learn from the experience that he should speak with our federations. It's very important to speak with our federations.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Ali.
The same comment like what Mrs. Geary said and you seconded. I would like to give a message to Mr. Paulson for Agon that the first priority should be the National Federation. And if the National Federation doesn't want to cooperate, of course I can understand this, but we shouldn't create competition with our national federations in their territory. And it is like There is nothing written, but it's coming from the statuses respecting them. This should be somehow like in the minutes, like a request of General Assembly to Mr. Agon to be careful with this.
If I can just answer, Ali, for me that absolutely goes without saying. I couldn't imagine the situation being any way other. And I think that slowly over the last 6 months, I've gotten to know step by step a number of the presidents of various national federations, you included. And I think the relations are good, and it takes time. I can't meet everybody all at once. But for me, it's absolutely obvious that the local knowledge in every country, not only can I benefit them, but they can benefit me. I don't see any conceivable downside to having a very close relationship with each chess federation, each national federation.
Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, just on a positive note, I'd like to say that Andrew Paulson has been working with the English Chess Federation, and even coming up to Leicester on one occasion, meeting with various board members. But I have another point. I see in the contract there are provisions for the termination of the contract based on financial, not provision of finances, but there are no provisions for terminating the contract based on performance. So if we're not happy, we as FIDE are not happy with what you're doing.
Can you give me an example of what I might do that would make you unhappy?
Well, there are various things. I mean, just the way events are organised. You know, I don't know exactly what you're going to do. So
one of my favorite one of my favorite YouTube clips is I believe it's a competition between you and Garrett, where there's very, very loud disco music and rising sound and light things in a disco, in a nightclub. I don't think I'll go that far. If that's okay for you, I think you're safe. I know, but
tremendous publicity, and it did a lot. In fact, it launched Rapid Chess, that particular match, back in 1987. So that was the thing. Okay, Rapid Chess existed. Okay, get the discos.
Okay.
Just, who knows?
There's another question. No other question. So, thank you very much. Thank you, Andrew. So then, I would like to, if there is any other comment concerning the contract? Any other comment concerning the contract? No. Yes, Thomas.
Thank you. That actually would be a question or comment to feed the board. Because I believe that what Andrew has proposed is very important. We need this commercial attitude into chess, and chess, I believe, can be commercialized. And I very much welcome to have a matured, experienced businessman involved in chess. We need that. Also, believe that he's a chess lover. If he's watching YouTube clips with chess players playing, he must be a chess lover, which is even better. That's great. But we give the license for 11 years to the company which was created a couple of months ago. And as far as we just heard, there is a certain breach of possibility of breach of contract because this $500,000 was due in April. We are ratifying, as there is a provision in the contract that we need to ratify this contract today, and there is no financial responsibility to FIDE. And if you are signing for 11 years, there is a lot of goodwill which we want to have. There is a lot of trust needed, and I would just like to have this trust. So I would very much welcome a good explanation from FIDE which would excuse Mr. Paulson not giving this $500,000 to our account in April. Thank you.
Okay, I can tell you what was his explanation. We signed a contract where he supposed that he should start working. He has 2 events that suppose that he can organize in Russia. He is losing these 2 events. Immediately he's facing an attack from a federation for this contract, that there is a proposal not to accept this contract. People that they are, at the same time they are attacking him, they are asking money for him to stop attacking him. He faced a situation that he said, okay, what is this organization? You are a serious organization. Why I should spend $500,000? I'm spending in any case to organize the tournament in London. This I cannot avoid this cost, this I will pay. Why I should pay another $500,000 when I can find myself tomorrow in this General Assembly where we have such people that I'm not there. I personally, I can understand this, you know. I can understand this, you understand? So I have agreed with, of course I prefer if the money was in our accounts, and the truth is that we exactly, because the tradition to feel secure, to have this deposit of $500,000, but I can understand his point also. When we say, okay, don't worry, in the beginning we can help you with this event, the other event, the contract will send to be ratified in the assembly, and he was facing all these problems. That was our responsibility somehow to solve. So what Mr. Andrew has promised is that if we ratify the contract, immediately will come the money. If he doesn't pay the money, the contract is not valid. He's losing the contract. So what else? So I'm proposing, you don't want to take it. So I'm proposing really to approve this contract, ratify this contract, because really it's very important for video at this moment. I explained before, it's the first time in our history where our events for the World Championships Cycle, very expensive events, they have been guaranteed, very expensive events. First time it happens in our history to have somebody who can guarantee this event. I understand that somebody who is going to invest such a huge money, he's not expecting even to get his money back in the first 6-8 years. So that's why I think it's completely logical that the contract will not be less than 10, 11 years. They were asking more, much more, and we said, no, this is not possible. Based on your calculations, you think that you should get this risk, that the contract will be only 11 years. So I'm asking the Assembly to accept the contract that FIDE has approved, that the board has already approved. Yes, we agreed before, I don't know, you were not here, that first we have to decide if we ratify the contract, and then we go to your protest. We agreed before in the General Assembly. So, there is any objection to approve the contract? Objection. One from Mr. Daniel, 2. 3. So please raise your hand. All those that they are objecting this contract. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Who is in favor of approving the contract? Please raise your hand. Thank you. Abstentions, there are, please. Abstentions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So, approved by the General Assembly. Now we are going to, the next point was Annex 12 and 12A. So there is a recommendation, correct? You recommend that the bid was valid, the decision of FIDE was correct, based on the analysis that you gave before, correct or not?
Yeah, we stated in our findings, based on the documentation that was provided to us, there were 3 legitimate bidders. We outlined the timeline for the various processes of the bidding procedure, and we also commented on the obvious that should the General Assembly fail to ratify the contract, then you would have to reopen the bidding procedure.
There's any comment? Comments? Yes.
Look, most of the time I was thinking to vote in favor of this contract. But in the last minute, I changed my mind because of 2 reasons. First of all, I think that the protest of the Bulgarian Chess Federation should have dealt before. Even if this was a decision, this was a wrong decision. First of all, you have to deal with the process against the whole idea, and then if it is dismissed, then you can go on to the voting on the contract itself. This is the way of handling such things. And the second reason was, at the very last moment, is the way of handling the voting. I think that first of all, Mr. Chairman, you had to ask who is in favor of the contract, and only then who is against. The order is not correct. You don't ask who is against and then who is in favor. Thank you.
I want to remind you, Mr. Bush, that I start trying to go first with the appeal, if you remember here. That's why I gave the floor to Alan to speak about the appeal. And what it came out is that their decision is based on the fact if we ratify this contract or not for them. We say if we approve, then it's obvious that the decision is correct. That's why I had to move. I asked myself, I had to move to the contract then. This is what happened exactly. You are right that normally we should ask who is in favor. But because on that moment I was asking who are the objections, I saw only 2. And I was positive. If there are other objections, it happens to count in a moment that again, those that they are against, there was 6 or 7. Because I was trying to find that there are not only 2. I was thinking that there should be more. So I was trying to wake up those that they were a little bit sleeping, let's say, and they were not like you, ready to support the contract, but they want to be against. So because of me, actually, we count there was 6 or 7 and not 2. So then there is other comment. No comment. Theodore, sorry, as which delegate?
I'm not delegate, just observer and secretary of the commission. Just one thing I have to say. It's very nice today. From the morning, we see Guy Kasparov, we see CNC to make presentation now. A real business like Mr. Paulson coming here. We have the contract, we discuss it. Everybody can vote for this. This is transparency. This is what I want. And we don't have to fight these people. We need all these people. So just I want to say thank you, Mr. Paulson, to to Mr. Kasparov today that he did for everybody. We have to continue like this. Let's help one each other to grow.
I think what the member of the board of European board is referring here is actually your decision, Mr. Buseas, treasurer and your president of Europe. When you brought a contract from nowhere, nobody knew from the board what is going on. You present there, people have no time to read anything. You made a decision to bring to the General Assembly. You never brought to the General Assembly. You were hiding the contract. And now we are fighting a contract that is so long time published. There have been many discussions with our board members. All the inputs is in this contract. Everything is clear here, and we are fighting this contract. It's unbelievable. I mean, somebody in our moment, he should feel a little bit the same when he's coming to fight FIDE for things that he never dreamed that he could do to be in such a transparent situation. Yes, Mr.
I'm not fighting against FIDE. I didn't say any word against the contract. I told the General Assembly what were the reasons to change my mind in the last moment. Speaking about the contract we brought to the ECU board, it is not stipulated in the ECU statutes that we have to bring such contracts to the notification of the General Assembly. You were in the General Assembly, you were of the discussion. I think there is no connection between the two contracts. And if I may say, I think that in this particular case of the candidates tournaments which was given to Agon, I think that FIDE should consider, after General Assembly approved the contract, I think that FIDE should consider reimbursement of the costs caused to the federations that submitted in due time their bids for this event. Because probably they had some costs, and I think because of the new contract, they should be paid back their expenses. Thank you.
Yes. It was a bit considered. We're not paying the expenses of those that they cannot present a better bid, how you know very well. In other case, this federation will never be able to generate any money. It will be bankrupt in 1 to 2 years. There is any other comment? So, then, thank you very much. I move to the next point. Commissions. Point 5. Ethics Commission.
Excuse me, what about the Bulgarian Chess Federation?
What are we doing now? We finished
Not doing anything. Just dismiss this point.
Which point? We finished
Annex
the point.
12A. This point.
Yes, we said Annex 12A, yes, which is the same as Annex 12, yes.
No, I'm very sorry. I left 2 minutes. First of all, our protest should be seen before the ratification of the contract. You know, it's very well. I left for 2 minutes. This is very unfair what you did. And I think, and now it is dismissed Annex 12A.
So what exactly you're asking? You want to vote if FIDE made the right decision or not? This is what you want to, what is that?
No. I just told you that this is very unfair. When I left for 2 minutes,
Silvio, do you think that I'm looking when you will leave to ask something?
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Sure.
Sorry.
Okay,
It's not
that's okay.
leave when you know that we are going to discuss about something which is your subject, you brought to the assembly, don't leave from the board. You think that I'm looking where you will leave? You think that we have such a problem, you will be here to speak? Behave well.
No, you behave well. First of all, you interrupt me all the time. And I'm very sorry that I'm president of Bulgarian Chess Federation and the European Chess Union. And second of all, I work like to warn FIDE that the protest of Bulgaria's chess federations is very serious. This is violation of the rights of our federation. Our federation made very good bid and lost because FIDE decided to dismiss all the bids. Absolutely illegal. So, I'm huge. Don't worry. Bulgarian Chess Federation, and I represent the Bulgarian Chess Federation, is warning you that Bulgarian Chess Federation will sue FIDE in CAS.
Okay, I'm asking you again, one more time. Do you want to ask the Assembly to vote about our decision? Yes or no?
Which decision?
About the decision to export this event to Agon. You want to ask the Assembly? Yes or no? I'm asking you.
Yes.
You want to ask? So, okay, based on the recommendation that we have from the committee, that the decision of FIDE was correct. Mr. Anand, he analyzed. I want to ask the Assembly who are those that agree that FIDE made the right decision by giving the country's matches to Agon to organize, and we signed this contract. Please raise your hands who are in favor of this, that FIDE make the decision correct. Thank you. Thank you. Who are against? Against. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Thank you very much. Abstention.